here to be doing a tutorial on RAG today, and it's a super important concept in the world of artificial intelligence, and I want you to understand it. Whether you're a business owner or an employee, AI is here and we live in a world with these LLMs. So this core concept is super important to understand. As we move forward into the next 5-10 years, what is this all about? What is a RAG? Well, it's a way for AI to search big, large sets of data. Okay, so what does RAG stand for? It stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. And if this isn't making any sense and you're like, why do I want to watch this video? Think about the implications of artificial intelligence and then tell me why you wouldn't want to learn about this. It's super interesting stuff, and what's happening under the hood of the LLM and the AI is really interesting and has huge applications to the world and how we are going to be living in the next 20 years. So let's talk about it. Super nerdy stuff. I had no idea about any of it a couple months ago. So that means that you can learn it too. So if you're not sure what a RAG is, it's more than possible. I promise you it is, because I did it. So you can do it too. So here's an example of a really simple RAG system. So a query is like the question you ask the ChatGPT or Gemini, right? So the query you push into the model and it will create dimensions for that query, which is the semantic and phonetic similarities of each word now boiled down into a numerical dimension on the vector space. Okay, so then we have what is called the retriever, and the retriever is going to use those dimensions of the query to find the chunks that are most relevant and closest on the vector space, so the most relevant chunks of data in the data set, right? So the data set is, say, a huge chunk of data, and it's been chunked into smaller sets of data that have each a dimension attached to them. So when we query and then the dimensions are made for the query, it's using those dimensions to find the most similar or most relevant information from the larger data set. So you can set it to pull 3 chunks or 5 chunks. So say you set it for 4, it will pull 4 most relevant chunks of data, and then it will use the large language model plus the 4 chunks of data to create the generated output. So the output is a combination of the large language model and the chunks that has been pulled from the retriever. So here's an example of a RAG system that I built. I built it on N8N using Supabase, and it is a book that I want to read. It's called Think and Grow Rich, and it's a book that is about 300 pages, I think, and it's been chunked into 524 subsets of data, each with a dimension attached to them. And that's what the RAG system is doing. It is now a set of data that you can then pull smaller chunks from based on what the dimensions are. So what is N8N? If you're super lost and you don't know, let's catch up real quick. N8N, it's an automation tool. So you can connect certain APIs, you can grab different apps and kind of put them all together in one place and automate digital flows. And I was using Supabase as the backend, which is a backend platform that provides auth, database storage, and APIs. It's where you can store the data. And it supports vector storage, which is how AI is using RAG. When to RAG and when not to RAG. Okay, so there's some times where RAG makes more sense and sometimes where RAG does not make as much sense. Okay, so basically the RAG system is really great for huge data sets when you need factual accuracy, although they still can hallucinate with the LLM still in charge of the final output, right? But there's certain ways that we can minimize and test over time to get accurate results from these systems. And Also, when your data doesn't fit in the context window of the model, that's a pretty good time to use RAG, right? Because then we're gonna grab smaller chunks of data. So what is a context window? A context window is super important to understand, because it is the limit of tokens that a model can receive. So tokens are about 3 to 5 characters. So larger words are broken into 3 to 4 tokens, and smaller words 1 token, right? So then we have the ChatGPT, for reference, like ChatGPT 5.1, it has a context window of 1 million tokens, which translates to about 2,500 pages of text. So if it's under that amount of pages, maybe it's best to just put it all into the model. It will take more tokens to run. It's gonna read the whole book or the whole data set, right? But if you have a data that is growing, dynamic, and changing, if you're going to be updating your data set all the time, a RAG system would be great for that. So another big question that we want to ask is, how does the model choose? How does it choose what chunks are the most relevant to the query? And that is through dimensions. So dimensions look like this. They're literal numbers. So LLMs are truly mathematical engines that are ranking words and phrases based on semantic and phonetic similarity. And so understanding this fact about LLMs can demystify kind of what is going on and why these things are good at certain things and bad at others. LLMs are not great at math, but they are great at writing, right? So understanding the meaning of something is really critical. And so ultimately, I find it super interesting to understand what's happening under the hood of the model and what we can be using for RAG systems or data sets within the context windows, and understand as this technology evolves and they get better with larger windows or whatever it is, we can be literate about AI together, so that when new models come out and the technology evolves, we're able to take that and put it into our business or into our work and make the most of it and truly be AI first, and then understand, okay, well, this technology is truly not going to go away. It is a foundation to how we do things, just like the internet has really changed the world in a major way, right? So we are here to learn about it, and I'm here to push you to build stuff and figure out how you can understand things, because learning never hurts, and learning about AI is especially relevant in 2025. So I'm hoping you have an amazing day. If you want to learn more about something specific and I might know the answer to it, let me know in the comments or in my DM.